So, what am I here for today? What is this?
Well, today on our second annual Spooky Halloween special, I've decided that I would like to take this time to tell you about one of the most underrated films of all time, in my opinion.
Okay.
Just for kicks the other day, I was on Rotten Tomatoes and I looked it up, and there is a 0% on there, I found out. A 0. In fact, all the reviews were bad. And I just thought that was really unfair, and that I'm gonna make it my Halloween mission to let everyone know how awesome this movie is.
You and your old 1920s movies.
Side note, I'm not saying that this movie is great, but I am saying that it is a lot of fun and super enjoyable.
I want to watch Predator instead.
And since I realize that a lot of you are still not gonna give this movie a chance, today we're just gonna sit here and watch the whole thing together. So you better get comfortable. We're gonna pop it in.
I want to watch Commando.
Nope. It's been decided. It's Halloween and we are doing this.
But I've never even seen House 1.
Well, that's great because it doesn't matter. None of these movies have anything to do with one another. In fact, the first movie is trying to be like a semi-serious horror film, whereas the second one departs into complete like a weird comedy territory. And one of the reasons that I really like this film is the fact that it is so unique and of its times. It's very of the 80s. You would never get a movie like this now. Like, we'll never ever have a movie like this ever again. Like, it's such a anthropological find.
So what's this thing about?
I'm sure a lot of you out there are probably confused and you're like, why is she reviewing House 2? Like, who cares? She's not gonna get a lot of hits from this. Why isn't she doing the Baratheon video? Well, you know what? I'm not doing this for hits, okay? I got news for you. I'm doing this because I love this movie and I want to talk about it, and this is my show, and I don't care what you think. I'm doing this for me, not for you, all right? Side note, go fuck yourself. So the movie starts with Jesse moving back into the very house that his parents were murdered in 25 years ago by a mysterious guy with a Dr. Claw voice, all right, looking for some skull.
Why would you want to move into the house that your parents were killed in?
Well, in this economy.
Oh, it's big, isn't it?
Yep. It's definitely not built to code.
So Jesse and Kate's first big night in the house is disturbed by Jesse's lovable drunk of a friend, Charlie, and his crazy drunk girlfriend. And they end up rolling up drunk, driving drunk, which is the first drunk driving in the movie. You could not get away with that today, like, at all. All right, so now the good time Charlie has introduced Kate to Puce Glitz and the Avoiders.
That's Puce Glitz and the Avoiders.
Puce Glitz?
Yeah, that's my stage name. This is you?
So Jesse starts getting really curious about his family, and he starts digging through the basement and finding all these pictures and these articles and all this stuff, and he finds out that his great-great-grandfather used to be this big adventurer and had found a legendary crystal skull in Mexico.
It had untold powers that could unlock the mysteries of the universe and bring eternal life to those who possessed it.
And I think the film does a really good job at portraying these two as super besties forever, because without even having to ask him and say the words, Charlie looks at Jesse and says, yes, let's dig up your great-great-grandfather. Let's do this. Let's see if he's got that crystal skull. Let's do it. And that's magical. That's besties. That's the magic of besties. So they start digging up Grandpappy in the middle of the night, and they finally get to the coffin, and guess what? He's still alive in there, oh my gosh, which begs the question as to why he let himself be buried in the first place if he was still alive, but whatever, it doesn't matter. It's House 2.
It's me! I'm your great-great-grandson.
Huh? What year is it?
October 30th, 1986.
So then they decide that they have to take Grandpappy back to the house because, you know, give a mouse a cookie and he's gonna want some milk. You can't just dig up your great-great-grandfather and not bring him back to the house.
There she is.
It's because, you know what? He's blood.
Is this the way you treat family? Making them hide down in the basement like some slimy old lizard.
So they get Gramps all set up in the basement. And he's like, no, wait, guys. I've been sleeping for like a really long time. I've been really bored down there, and I want to go party.
I don't need no sleep. Well, let's get me cleaned up, and then we can go out on the town and do a little high stepping.
I'm with you, Gramps. I like high stepping. So Gramps quickly finds out why he's being exiled to the basement when he gets a look at his old mug in the mirror, and he's like really upset about it. He really wanted to go out on the town. Now he can't.
I'm a 170-year-old fart. A goddamn zombie.
So now he knows why he's stuck in the basement. But party friend Charlie is like, Gramps, I know that we can't go out on the town, but that doesn't mean we can't do anything.
What in tarnation is it?
So Gramps has never even seen a car before, and he gets his first driving lesson, and they have a really good time. And I love that Charlie is just really connecting with Jesse's undead great-great-grandfather. They're having a really good moment together, something that they're going to remember for the rest of their lives.
You're drunk. I better drive.
Jesse, you old golf bag.
Bill Maher, what are you doing here?
John, what are you doing here? Oh, well, your beautiful lady informed me that she's found the Madonna of the 80s.
So Bill Maher is Jesse's girlfriend's jerky boss. And by the way, you know he's trying to get in on that Kate action. And I love that him and Charlie are instantly butting heads, and Bill Maher pulls the ultimate asshole move by giving the limp-wristed handshake. Side note, Bill Maher plays such a great jerk
Who's your friend, Bozo the Clown?
that I bet that's why he quit acting, because he was totally being typecast as the jerk.
Shame on you, Jesse.
Although I will say in this film, he ends up getting both of the girls, but we'll get into that later. So that's probably the only movie where Bill Maher gets both of the girls. So Gramps is keeping himself amused in the basement with a Kleenex box. He is completely excited about these tissues coming out. He's totally into it. But what he is not excited by is the television. He's like, television, no, that's boring. Kleenex box, yes, that's
I
exciting.
hate this doggone box.
And he complains that there is nothing to watch on TV, which I can see where he's coming from, to be honest.
We asked people, if you could get paid to do something you really love, what would you do?
I'd be a writer.
I'd be a baker.
I want to be a pie maker.
I want to be a pilot.
I'd be an architect.
What if I told you someone could pay you? And what if that person were you? When you think about it, isn't that what retirement should be? Paying ourselves to do what we love?
Telling me how to live my life. How about I do what I want today, Prudential, and you can shove it.
And unbeknownst to them, there is a Halloween party in full swing going on in the house, and they had no idea.
I invited some people over for Halloween. I forgot.
So during the party, the door from an alternate prehistoric dimension opens up. And this caveman, who's really just a white pro wrestler looking dude, he comes downstairs in the middle of the party, he knocks out Gramps, he takes the skull for himself, and escapes back into his alternate dimension, where Jesse must follow him and get him.
In the wrong hands, that skull could cause trouble.
So things are really starting to pick up. Things are starting to get really nuts now, okay? This is like the meat of the film. And they go charging into the room to get that skull back.
Whoa, there's a jungle in that room. I wasn't expecting that.
They go in, so it's this weird alternate dimension, prehistoric history that has all these like weird puppets and monsters and stop motion everywhere.
Whoa, look at that dinosaur.
Neat. There's a catfish monster that comes out of nowhere. It's like you think you're in the prehistoric times, but then there's a catfish monster. Like, this is not right at all. But that's okay, because it's House 2.
Coward! Come back and fight like a man!
So dude gets eaten by catfish monster. The boys get the skull, and then while they're celebrating, a giant pterodactyl mama comes along and scoops it up and takes it back to her pterodactyl nest. It's important to note that one thing that I really enjoy about this movie is that they have all these really great sets. The cemetery set was amazing, and so is this jungle set with this awesome tree, this giant prehistoric tree, and it's also like a matte painting, and they do all this other weird stuff with it. I mean, nowadays, if you had a small budget like this film does, all of this would probably be done on the green screen, and there would be no set at all, and it's just so much less fun. He gets to the top. He's got to fight with a pterodactyl baby over the skull now. It's like he hasn't had enough fucking problems, you know? And then, meanwhile, Billy Cole is hanging out, and this fucking something's coming for him. You don't even know what it is. It's like making little goblin noises, and there's little cute music to go with it. Really adorable. Jesse falls from the tree with the skull. They fall through the basement, and they're back to where they started with ramps, and he's like, what are you guys doing?
Why didn't you use the stairs?
And then, my favorite
Charlie.
part happens.
Charlie, all right?
Wait for it. Wait for it. What is that? What is that?
Jess, get him off me! Leave me alone! Get him! Jess! This ain't me alive!
It's a cat puppy! It's cat puppies!
Charlie!
I can't even handle it. I can't even handle how cute that thing is. You just try to tell me that isn't the cutest thing you've ever seen. Just try it.
Hey, Jess, can we keep him?
This movie is so underrated that you can't even find a picture of that cat or puppy on Google image search. Or at least when I tried, there were none. It was depressing. It's like I was having a bad day, wanted to cheer myself up with a cat or puppy. It was nothing for me. Take that guy.
Can we get a cat or puppy?
Yes, we can. Absolutely. So let's not forget that Pterodactyl Baby still has the skull. So now we're having some shenanigans ensue where they're chasing after this crazy puppet. And that's
Don't forget
something I
the
want to
beer.
point out is like it's so cute to have this puppet and these stop motion animation sequences because it like the puppet especially gives like the actor something to act off of, and it's like has so much personality, and you can tell somebody's in there just doing it, and it has such a personal touch. I really love it. I think it's super cute, and I don't know why we're not doing more of that these days. If they made this movie now, that pterodactyl would be a CGI pterodactyl, and tell me you would prefer that. Just say that to me, and I will tell you no, you don't. Anyways, back to the movie. So Bill Maher is trying to find evidence that Jesse's been messing around with Rochelle.
Last night, went to the cemetery and we dug up my great-great-grandfather's grave. Because we were looking for a crystal skull. It's supposed to be magic. He's dead, but he's alive. I mean, he's a mummy, and we brought him back, and he's been staying in the basement. And that's who's in there for your information, Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
And in a normal movie, you'd think to yourself, well, I guess this will come back and Jesse will win his girlfriend back or something like that. But no, they never come back into the picture. I love that in this movie, the jerky guy wins. Bill Maher gets both bitches, drives off with them, and then the main characters are like, whatever, and that's it. Bill Maher wins. It's never revisited. And now it's time to feed the Catter Puppy beer. That's right, folks.
Now, I know that smells good. I know it smells good. Daddy's gonna have it ready right away.
GP goes upstairs to put the skull back on the mantle where literally anyone can take it. And he gets startled by Pippi, the Catter Puppy, and he almost shoots him in the face. You'd think that they would not put it back on the mantle, but I guess that's where it looks the best in the house. So So anyways, Jesse finds him in the morning. He's like, what happened? He's like, well, they took the skull again. So he's waking up Charlie. He's like, we gotta go get the skull back again, dude. And then before they can get to it, friggin' Cliff from Cheers shows up as the electrician. And they're like, we don't have time for this. But he's like, sorry, I'm gonna do this. I'm doing this. Sorry, bro. And fun fact, the guy who played Norm from Cheers is in the first House movie. So there's like this weird Cheers connections in these two movies. I don't know, but it's there. So the boys are trying to figure out how to get in the fireplace to get the skull back. But instead, Cliff just tears a giant hole in their wall. And so he's like, you guys can check this out. And they're like, whatever. He's like, no, you gotta come see this.
Looks like you got some kind of alternate universe in there or something.
And they decide to go in there, and it happens to be a Mayan temple. And so now we're in our new exciting place, a Mayan temple.
Incredibly scared right now.
Don't be a fag, okay?
So this movie has drunk driving, feeding alcohol to animals, and people calling other people fags in what essentially is a children's movie. Only in the 80s. We'll never see this sort of filmmaking ever again. So all three of them stumble upon this weird virgin sacrifice deal going on. They got the skull, and they go into action, and they fucking start fighting these Mayan dudes and getting their skulls back. It's pretty sweet. Sounds far more exciting than dealing with bills and your fiance who's kind of bitchy. So they all get back safe and sound, Virgin Princess included in the mix now.
Now, Jess, listen, if you need any more work done, just give me a call there, huh?
I love that this place is a total vortex of weirdness, and it's so weird that it attracts other weird people. So now we have the climactic dinner scene where you have this new, weird adventure family coming together for the first time, having a meal. And that's something that that's the core of this film. That is emotional core of this film, is that even if you don't have family, you can make your own family. And you can have your own weird people. I mean, I've got weird friends. And you know, the other thing that I love about it is that they're just like, fuck the bullshit, fuck our girlfriends. Let's just do this awesome stuff. Let's just have adventures. Let's just have adventures. And you know what? I don't blame them. I would just have adventures. If I found an alternate dimension, I would go there in a heartbeat. I never understood those stories where people leave to another place and then they win and they become king there and then they're like, oh, I have to go back. Why would you go back? Why? What are you going to go back to? Student loan debt? Is that what you're going to go back to? No. I would stay in Oz. I would stay wherever this is. I would stay anywhere else, in any other dimension, except for a hell dimension, of course, but that goes without saying. We're having a lot of fun here. We've got a Caterpuppy. I mean, Caterpuppy's already got a bib. I mean, he's already moved in, okay? We have a really cute pterodactyl. We have a virgin hot princess that's totally into Jesse. So, I mean, he's good on that front. Like, fuck Kate. Like, Kate who? And we got a undead grandpa zombie that's, like, super kindly and nice. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this guy's totally rad. And another thing, how many friggin' old people protagonists do you see? Like, never. You never see old people. I don't know why. I like old people. Like, why can't we put old people and stuff?
That was well put, son. Now let's eat.
So now comes the scene that scared the crap out of me when I was a little girl. It was really upsetting to me when Slim Razor comes back, who is Gramps' old partner that he fucked over and left in the desert to die, and he's pissed about it, so he comes back for his revenge. Ruins dinner for everybody, and that's what sucks about it. It's like they're all, you know, sitting down for dinner, and they've all been working so hard keeping this skull, you know, they're tired, they just want to have a nice dinner, and then this asshole shows up and ruins the whole thing, and he looks really cool. I thought he was really scary when I was a kid.
Low down, Weasel. I've been waiting for you. Long time.
So this is the third time that Gramps has been knocked out of the game, which kind of means he probably shouldn't be in charge of the skull, but whatever. And Jesse is all on his own. It's all on him. He's got to save his family. So now Jesse enters the third alternate dimension, a weird western town where Slim Razor is waiting for him on the fucking coolest horse that's dead with muscles and bones and everything, and it's all stop motion animation, but it looks great. When I was a kid, that dead horse was burned into my imagination. So the climactic battle carries over back into the house There's gunfire all over the place, so the cops get called. They're surrounding the house. So on top of everything else that Jesse has to deal with right now, he also has to deal with the cops. What a bummer. Cops never understand these sorts of situations. What's he gonna do now?
What's going on in Atlanta?
So Jesse ends up shooting Slim Razor's friggin' head off. Then he gets the skull back. He goes back to Grandpa. He's like, Gramps, I got the skull back. And Grandpa's like, oh, I'm dying. And he's like, no, Grandpa. And he's like, oh, sorry. Like, you take the skull and you do something awesome with it and you have fun because it's your turn. And Jesse's like, oh, Gramps. And then
we're coming in fire.
So Gramps is a goner. Jesse's really sad. So he's totally screwed. The cops are outside. They're never gonna believe this, okay? They're never gonna believe this. So he's like painted into a corner. So Jesse does the only thing that any rational person would do, which is make a portal with that friggin' skull and take your grandfather's dead body and your catter puppy and your virgin princess and your best friend who doesn't give a shit and your friggin' pterodactyl baby and you go to the Wild West and you live happily ever after. He buries his grandfather. He puts the skull on top of the cairn, which kind of doesn't make sense because it's like, aren't you trying to be protecting this thing? You're just going to leave it out here? Like, that's a little weird, but whatever. It's house 2. It doesn't matter. What matters is that they all live happily ever after. The end. And I feel great about it. I think this movie is a lot of fun. I think it reminds me of a comic book in a lot of ways. It has a lot of like really fun, fantastical elements. So that's it. I reviewed the movie that nobody wanted me to review. It's a treat for some, a trick for others. So happy Halloween, motherfuckers. That's what you're getting.
Well, I liked it.
You liked it, Robot.
I liked it a lot.
Well, this movie, unsurprisingly, tested really well with children when it came out. A lot of younger people really enjoyed it, far more than the adult crowd, which makes a lot of sense. I think this movie is like E for everybody, you know?
I want to see House 3 now.
So that's it for today. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, like my Facebook page, follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Hey guys, it's October, and you know what that means. It's time for Christmas decorations. So let me give you a little background on this film, okay? I saw it when I was a kid. I really liked it. It was like on HBO or something all the time. And then I kind of forgot about it, but not completely. I remembered the scary cowboy guy in the end with the crazy horse. And I kept asking people that. I was like, do you remember this movie? This weird cowboy guy? And eventually someone was like, yeah, and I figured out what it was. And I bought it on DVD from Amazon. I was like, I gotta get this. I went through a big phase where I rewatched all the movies from my childhood. But anyways, and so I rewatched it and I rediscovered the magic. This film is so much better than I even anticipated. It totally held up over time. To be fair though, it only has like 9 reviews and they're all negative, but most movies get like 200 reviews or more. So I mean, it's like, I just don't think it's very accurate representation. If I ever bump into Bill Maher one day, I just have one question for him. What was it like working on the set of House 2? And that's it. That's all I need to know from him. That's it. I want to hear all the hilarious behind-the-scenes stories. Fun fact, the guy who plays Jason Voorhees gets punched in the face in this scene. Apparently he's the stunt coordinator on this movie, also worked on the last House movie, and the guy who produces these movies also went on to produce Friday the 13th movies. I'm in the market for a catter puppy for anybody out there who breeds them. So the boys while away their day listening to all these nostalgic stories from the past. Gramps is giving them the whole scoop on what used to go on.
I want to see House 3 now.
I have experiences with other House movies.
Oh, gross! Anchovies? Yuck, take them off, please.
I've seen a lot of the House movies. I don't remember a lot of them. But one of them, I got really weirded out. It was House 5? Or 6? No, it was 5. House 5. There's this really weird scene with like a pizza face man and he's spitting pizza at the mom and like she's having a fucking breakdown.
Mom? You happy now? No more anchovies!
It freaked me out so bad that I turned the movie off and I was like, nope, I'm not doing this. This is ruining pizza for me and I love pizza and that is not right. I don't like pizza horror, okay? Pizza's supposed to be fun. Hello? And this is my hideous pumpkin that I carved. You'll see it in an upcoming video. It just did not turn out well. I was doing it in a rush. I've had a really weird month this month. I've been very vulnerable. Been going through a lot of things, you know, a lot of death and rebirth, you know. And so what we're gonna do is I've been channeling all my negative energy into this pumpkin for the past couple days. As you can see, it's really been working because it's all molded and grossed up. Like really, this is like 2 days of leaving it out, by the way. It's like got really gross really quick. Here at Team 19 headquarters, we're a big fan of using these giant Post-it notes. They're all over the place because they're really helpful. Post-its on top of Post-its! And this particular giant Post-it note is all of the Kickstarter to-do list stuff. So we have all the donators, things to order, t-shirts, drawings, Skype chats, movies to commentate, make a troll, sending it out, you have orders. And now it's over. It's done. I don't have any more orders to fill and I feel great about it. Put this in here. Okay. Getting rid of that. Let's do it. Let's go for it.
You shouldn't. Okay.
All right, negativity. I've had about just enough out of you. Do not consider that littering because that is a biodegradable pumpkin.